is 5:59.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll get started with our regular city commission meeting on March the 15th. And first, we got a call to order, please. And Mike's going to do the pledge for us. I mean, the invocation, and Commissioner Jackie's going to do the pledge for us, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven, we thank you for this day. And dear Heavenly Father, as we go through the city business, I just pray that you'll give us the guidance and the knowledge, dear Heavenly Father, that we may be able to do the best for the city of Mount Pleasant. And as we go through tonight, we have a proclamation for Andre Baker. And dear Heavenly Father, I'd just like to say from the bottom of my heart that I thank you for the Baker family, for they have been a blessing to my life and to many people here in Mount Pleasant. And dear Heavenly Father, just pray that you bless us and bless our country and our world. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you all very much. And it's finally warming up in here now in Texas. Thank you, sir. We got here tonight, you could, as the old saying goes, you could hang meat in here. That's the reason we've all sitting with jackets on. All right, roll call, please, ma'am.
Bill White,
Here.
Jacqueline Greerberry, here. Mike Davis,
Here.
Eric Harvey,
Here.
Willie Alderson,
Here.
all present.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have approval or correction of minutes from the prior meetings, our study session on February the 10th, and the regular meeting of February the 15th, and I'll entertain a motion once y'all have had a chance to review.
I make a motion to accept the study session on February 10th, 2022,
And,
You can do both of them together.
and the regular meeting February the 15th, 2022.
all right,
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, awards, presentations, and appointments. Proclamation for Andre Baker. How do we want to handle this since it's really being done Saturday?
You're just announcing that Saturday is Andre Baker Day.
All right.
So,
My question is, I see a number of folks here in attendance for this, and thank you very much. I was talking to Miss Willie up here earlier, and I knew Andre growing up, and we were always friends and remain that way. I am not going to be able to be in attendance Saturday, but I think somebody from the commission will be there,
I'm sure
correct?
Eric's probably, yeah.
Okay, so I'll leave that to you guys.
More than Eric, yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got the original, and I've got copies to give out to anybody in the family
Yeah.
that wants a copy of it.
So my question is to this group is, would you like to have a photo op right quick where we get all the commissioners in handing this out? We got a head shake? Yes. So if y'all don't mind, we'll all go forward. So y'all just come on down front, please. I hear you, man. So y'all would just line up across in here so we can get y'all on the front row.
We can do another one out in the lobby too
Yeah.
sometime. Yeah, here.
Good.
Yeah. I'll be in the picture.
I don't know exactly how we're gonna do this, but why don't y'all hold that? How's that? And then I'll ease right over here.
You're not gonna read it?
I'm gonna let them do that Saturday,
Okay.
because that's the actual day it's good for.
Mhm.
Picture.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take the original, and then y'all will be able to get this Saturday. Okay, but we want you to have the original, please.
How are you?
And God bless you. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because you're the one that's planning the day.
Hey, move to the front.
Who am I going? Who's?
There's an envelope.
Yes, sir.
In your hands.
Yes, sir.
Y'all welcome to stay for the
Don't
meeting.
leave,
Y'all welcome to stay for the meeting.
don't leave.
All right, they're going to check picture, okay.
You gonna come back, you
Bedford's
gonna
out
come
there
back.
taking pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Milton,
I think Bedford's
good
out there
man
taking
right
pictures.
there. All right, next we have the mayor's appointment for the Mount Pleasant Power Board, and that's gonna be we got a letter back from Al and Mike. Anything you'd like to say? They've asked that
Nope.
Dr. Tyler remain.
Right, no more than I said, Thursday night at the study session.
Yeah.
Mount Pleasant is blessed to have somebody like Dr. Tyler, serving on the fire system.
Are we ever? Any questions about either one of those? All righty, number 6, completion review of unfinished
So you have
business.
to vote on that appointment.
Make a motion,
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion for Dr. Michael Tyler on the fire system.
I second it.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We are very fortunate. My goodness. All right, number 6, completion review of unfinished business from prior meeting. A, ordinance 2022-1091. This is a public hearing and a final reading, an ordinance correcting a Scrivener's error in ordinance 2019-1044.
Mayor and Commissioners, this is a large sewer ordinance, but the only change is when we passed it previously, we did not know, the state had not approved it, and we did not know they had changed the numbering in the ordinance. There's no material facts change, it's just the numbers, which is why we put it in front of you as a Scrivener's error.
Exactly. All right, this is a public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this? Please let the record show no one offered to. That I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we pass ordinance 2022-1091 in
We-
correction of the Scrivener ordinance.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from mayor. I'm going to be brief on this because I got a few words I'd like to say at the end, but we had a very good, I thought, work session here Thursday night, particularly talking about some of the things that we're getting ready to have to do to be competitive within the city. But I want to go ahead and be the one to have to let y'all know this. We're probably looking at a property tax increase. It's been a long, long time since our community's faced one. 1 penny only brings us $11,000. We got streets that need to be fixed. We got to start getting money in the bank to be able to do that. We've got the financial situation of the city in very good place right now, but we just don't have the capital to be able to go out and pave streets. So part of that's going to be to start developing a capital plan.
The Streets Department.
And the street department, and just what do we do? Because we've had some very, very large projects we had to get completed, sewer, water, some things like that. And it's time for us to start looking at this. So I don't want you to hear it from anybody else. I'm going to be the one to bear the bad news.
Other words, it's the mayor's fault.
That's right.
But I will say that the first street that you suggested they pave is Glass
It's
Street.
glass.
And that was just a portion.
And it's horrible, Milton. I know you live over there, but it's horrible.
On one end to the other.
Yeah. And a lot of the streets that we've looked at too, and I'm not going to tell you any stories, that one would not have to be milled down necessarily in places where some of the other streets are going to be very, very expensive. because you gotta mill them down. Because we've literally gotten rid of the curb and gutter because of the way we paved. So, my recommendation is the first one would be Glass Street without any hesitation. So, as Mike said, I'll take the heat. So that's all I've got. But I want y'all to hear that from here, not somewhere else.
Got to put it on somebody.
That's right. That's all I've got. Number 8, monthly financial / budget report, please, ma'am.
That's some good news to report tonight. We have, our property taxes. We have actually, as of this week, collected more than what we had budgeted. That doesn't mean that we're gonna have more revenue. What it means is that we'll have more, that paid on time and less that we're gonna have to collect, delinquent, and less that we have to turn over to. Very good news.
Very good news.
And actually, we'd like to thank the, Latoya last year really started trying to, contact these people and get these people going. And now Sheila's going to be doing this, and she has already started. She sent out some notices to people that, that had not paid by February 28th and has already seen, some good results from that. So we're hoping that they will continue the trend, more on time and less delinquent. We don't like charging the penalties. We don't like having to turn them over. We'd rather have them paid on time. And so
We've
that was a
gone
very good
from,
thing.
it's gotten to be a very low number, which is great, like you
It's
said.
great. It's great news. And that just helps decrease our costs because it's quite costly turning them over and having all that work having to be done. And another thing we're excited about, and you should be getting a text here in a minute. We're trying out a new
Come on.
so it should say that you're late on your utility payment, even though you may not be.
I just
Just
got one.
want to.
That's what that thing's sitting there doing. And I know it's not. 'cause it's
Mine's
paid.
paid.
But we were just testing this. It's going to be a relatively inexpensive cost, and we're hoping to be able to, on or about the 20th, to send out that message that you received to all of our delinquent utility customers. And we're hoping that that will help on cutoffs as well. And also, there's a lot of times that people just are not aware. Maybe somebody was sick, maybe the bill didn't get there, or for whatever reason. But if their phone number is in our system, once we get it up and going, get all the kinks worked out, on or around the 20th, if they've not paid by then, they'll get that text. And just a reminder so that, because again, we don't like turning people off.
Right.
It's, I know the $75 charge that we charge is hurts a lot, and it's expensive, but it costs us more than that to send somebody out, cut off the water, then have to go back out again and turn it back on. It's just a whole lot to it that we just really we'd rather have the payment, to be honest. So, other than that, I think you got your packets today.
You did.
And if there's any questions, I'll entertain that.
Any questions for Loretta?
Hope you don't get any phone calls over that text.
Yeah, really.
Well, that was just sent out to
You
these
got
people.
Well,
You.
I know it, but it wasn't safe, so.
That made me worry. So if you're gonna get a text, next thing I know, silly phone's going on.
But that is a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Appreciate
but you can thank, Michael and, Ashley been working hard on getting that up and going, so we're kind of excited about it, and hopefully it'll help the kids.
It's not
Thank you,
invasive,
Steve.
it's just letting you know.
Right, appreciate it.
All right, any questions for Miss Loretta?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the monthly financial budget report as presented.
Got a motion? Do we have a second? Second. Got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from city manager.
Mayor and Commissioners, I just want to mention a few things. I mentioned at the study session, the tile plant has announced that they're going to do a $55 million, they're building a new building, $55 million new building. So that's going to be super exciting down there. Project Brazil, which has purchased our second spec building. They have not closed on it, but they've come in and got a permit to do the entire build out. So that's moving right along where it needs to.
It's supposed to close before the end of this week, I
It
think.
should. It should.
April 19th.
Is it that when it is? now?
But they're already working on the build out. That will be in front of the planning commission on April 12th. So that looks like it's moving right ahead. So that's, again, super exciting. We are just getting deluged with developers that want to do housing, which is also great. A little concerned that most of the developers want us to go from R1 to R3 immediately, and which is more dense. And I'm hoping that we can look at each individual application and determine what's best. And the planning commission will have a lot of pressure on them to make that decision. But I guess that's how they make more money. So they're going to go from single family to more dense, but we can probably continue to expect that. I'm just hoping that I know we all keep saying we don't want to be Columbia. So we don't want to just have apartments and townhomes everywhere. But I think we'll get there, but there's just a lot of interest, and it all seems to be very positive. That's all I had.
All right, good. Number 10, special reports from other city departments or committees. A, wastewater.
So the newest report on the wastewater is that we have made some progress on the trunk line rehabilitation. 2,900 linear feet of cured-in pipe in place has been installed. Roughly 11 manholes have been rehabilitated. Obviously, you can still see them out there working there at North Main and Magnolia. On Rainy Street, we are waiting for the approval from USDA. The next step is we're ready to go out for bid. And then the wastewater treatment plant improvements, we have next Wednesday, we've scheduled construction meeting on that, right? So that's the largest part that you all have just approved. And then we continue to hear from USDA that additional funding has become available. I just haven't gotten exactly what that means, but it sounds very positive. So waiting to hear on that. And then the influent pump station, is that what you're just telling me just now, that they'll be here tomorrow? They just sent us a text saying they'll be here tomorrow, BH Craig. So we are making a lot of progress on the sewer area, and there is not a gas report. It's all good there.
Yep. All right, number 11, new business. A, ordinance 2022-1092. This is a first reading. An ordinance adopting a new debt policy.
Mayor and Commissioners, our current debt policy is 10 years old, right? At least 10 years old. And so it's definitely time to update it. You are going to be getting a presentation in April that's our capital improvements plan that's going to run in along with this, because they're definitely tied together. And it just talks about it. It's actually written very simply, which I like. It's, we're going to be good stewards of our money. We're not going to go in more debt than we need to. And if we have it in writing, we really can't. So we're setting guidelines for ourselves. Julianne Graham, who helped us with our bond and helped the power system with the bond issue, she'll be here in April just to answer any questions that you have. But we want to update it to where we are and tie it into the capital improvements plan so that as you prioritize as a commission what needs to be next, we know what funding sources and what money we need to be looking for to get that. So just another thing that the city needs to be doing to stay on top of everything.
Yep. Any questions? This is just the first reading. So
First reading, and April's going to have a heavy agenda,
It's
just so
gonna be,
everybody's aware. Especially as we get closer to budget, it always gets heavier.
Mhm. Any questions? Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept ordinance 2022-1092.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. Got a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. B, resolution 2022-8, a resolution for Murray County, Tennessee, in cooperation with the city of Mount Pleasant to submit an application to the State of Tennessee Community Development Block Grant Program.
Mayor and Commissioners, for those who might be in the audience that aren't aware of this, every year Murray County can apply to the state for a block grant. This year it's a $630,000 grant. Really, nobody showed up that wanted to apply for it but us. So we're going to pursue the things that we couldn't fund in the large sewer rehabilitation, and move forward with that. I've been to the administrative committee for the county, and last night the budget committee, they've moved it on. It'll be on the full commission on Monday night. So the grant would be $630,000. Our responsibility would be a 23% match, which is $188,182. And we apply now, and we hear usually October-ish if we get it, but that would be another, $800,000 to go into infrastructure projects that we need. And so I anticipate it getting approved by the county commission because nobody else is asking for the money.
Yeah.
And I'll always be there asking for the money.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Good thing.
In the CBDG money, it's upstream pretty much straight to the governor, so he's the one that pretty much signs those checks, so.
And with what we got going on, of course, out at the sewer plant, we need extra money that we can get. So in return, it don't have to go back on the sewer rate.
And we learned that our charter doesn't allow us to charge development fees and things like that. So grants are extremely important to how we operate.
And thank you, Kate, for, I guess, being the backbone of doing that.
Yeah, we gotta go
Those
after
county meetings are painful though.
it. Yeah,
Well,
they really are.
I know.
Corey knows, she was there last night too.
All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Move that we accept resolution 2022-8.
Have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. C, resolution 2022-9, a resolution revising the employee compensation plan for the city of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee.
And Mayor and Commissioners, you will have it in your packets, and the highlighted changes that we're making kind of tie into what the mayor said earlier about streets. We're changing the name of our Public Works Director to Utility Director because truly that is Keith's position as he manages our gas, water, and sewer utilities. And we are creating a street director position that is part of the strategic plan that you all passed, that we need to decide next steps on improving streets, being able to repair our streets, being able to address stormwater issues. So that's kind of the next step in that area. And then I mentioned at Thursday night's meeting that there's always been an assistant utility director in the plan, but once Donnie became the director, it went away. And so we're kind of bringing that back and hoping we can recruit for that position as well. And we have an assistant to the finance director position that was created when an employee left in finance. Obviously, Steve is still in there as community services director because he's going to continue to mentor anybody that comes in to follow him. And then we've created a human resources generalist position because we have a new employee that's doing a great job in HR. And those are the highlights of the changes that are in the comp plan.
Have we got anybody in-house, I guess, Kate, that you're looking at, when Steve decides to go? Or...
If we turn it into a street department, we're probably going to need more experience if somebody has more street. I have not heard anybody that has asked for that as far as like within the department. I have not. So we know we've been working on that job description because it will require a skill level that I don't think we have right now.
Okay.
So, but I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Any other questions, comments? Not hearing none, entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion in favor of resolution 2022-9 as presented.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Got a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. D, resolution 2022-10, a resolution authorizing pay increases for the employees of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee. We had a good conversation on this Thursday night as well. We need to do it. We need to do it now because we're going to lose valuable employees. It's gotten so competitive.
It did pass last night. It's for the county to pass it from the budget to the full county commission. So I fully intend that to happen. I failed to mention the power system is doing some of that as well. They've lost a lineman to another county and they immediately adjusted pay as a result of that. Don't want to lose employees, but if we do lose an employee, I want to be able to fill that position with a competitive pay rate. So that's why we're recommending this. And I don't anticipate at this time coming to you for additional pay in the next fiscal year. We would just budget what we're adopting right now.
Correct.
But I'm happy to answer any questions, and you have the document there that talks about covering the next 8 pay periods.
Mayor, may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I don't want nobody to take me wrong on this, and if I do, somebody correct
You
me.
can't blame it on me.
You're exactly right. I can't blame it on you. But I just want y'all to know, when Loretta was standing up a while ago giving our property tax, it was only a little over $2 million. So if you take, I guess, the administration, the fire department, and the police department, there's no way that you could pay from the property taxes. And the property taxes should have never been let go for 10 years without being raised. And that throws it all on us. But don't misunderstand now. We are in good shape. But we are in good shape because of these other funds that we get. Whether it's in taxes, county, city, or whatever. It more than makes up the difference for the property taxes. So we're in good shape. But on the other hand, when everybody says, what about streets? What about, water going down the streets into my yard? We have no money whatsoever to take care of those problems. And as Kate was saying earlier, we're going to have to do that. And I guess as we go through this, I guess we'll decide what's the best route to go. But I just want y'all to know, and as we go through giving our employees, your employees, a raise, which they need. But me, with the way that things are right now, it's hard for me to vote a 6% increase. Because I don't know what's going to happen with our downtown revitalization. I don't know if something's going to come in and say, hey, we got to have some money for this over here. But our employees deserve everything that they get or that we can give them. And again, some of this should have been taken care of earlier instead of later. But I am willing to go to 3%. But just because of the way that things are right now in the city, and I know, with property taxes and all that's increased, we'll be in better shape. But I just don't want to take a huge step out there and then it comes back and says, hey, maybe we shouldn't have went out that far in the beginning. And again, that's just me.
Well, this city is in a better financial situation than it's ever been, right to this day. And the auditors will tell you that. Our outside auditors will tell you that. The state of Tennessee will tell you that. And I feel like there was an article today that Rutherford County is getting ready to have to give all their employees a 15% increase to keep them.
I just want to say that We
So-
gotta be able to keep our employees
Yes,
here.
we do.
We're gonna lose them to,
You name it.
Lawrence County, Lewisburg, and all of these people. If we don't pay them something to stay here, nobody's gonna take these low-paying jobs that, being here. They're gonna go find where they can make money. The economy is, gas is high, food is high. So we don't wanna start all over with new employees. We ain't gonna be able to keep nobody.
And I mentioned to you Thursday night too, that we looked at the MTS salary study and we've looked at other cities and we're pretty much woefully behind. Keep in mind too, we're talking about 6%, but that is the minimum. There will be police positions and fire positions and some in public works that will get more than that because we've got to get them, we've got to handle the compression. When you raise the lower and then you've got people that have been here for years that you bring the lower up to, you've got to address that so that again, if they leave, we can be competitive to fill their
Bring them,
position
yeah.
or keep them here because we're paying them what they need to,
There you go.
to
They
earn.
could lose and keep losing them to different,
I understand all that, and I understand what Phil was saying, but I've been on this board since 2014. Every year that an auditor has come up and presented to the city of Mount Pleasant has been in good shape every year. So it's not that just we're doing good right now. We've done good in the past. We have. And I just let that be known.
All right, any other comments or questions about this?
And I think we brought out Thursday too, that this includes everybody. It includes myself
Everybody.
as well. And there are some others that are over 6% based on the compression, but you have the Exhibit A that
But the balance
gives you the
is,
cost for
but
this.
the overall
Yeah.
is 6%.
And Kate, again, I don't mean nothing towards you on this. I mean, we're fortunate to have you. But even like your case, you just got a raise back in September.
Mhm. Trying to get it back where she should be to start with.
What should she be, 150,000?
Mike,
Yeah.
I don't, yeah. I'll answer that for her. I'd say yes too,
One of the
real
things we
quick.
said from the very beginning on this, though, this is
Well,
not
that's what-
merit-based, it's retention.
That's right.
So y'all as citizens, y'all need to, y'all have to be happy with what goes on. Whether, it's in your rate increase or whatever.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2022-10.
We have a second.
Second.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
Eric Harvey,
Yes.
Willie Albertson,
Yes,
Bill White,
Yes.
Mike Davis,
No, but I am for a raise, not a 6%.
Jackie Granberry.
yes.
It's 4-1, motion carries.
Thank you very much. E, Resolution 2022-11, a resolution by the City of Mount Pleasant, Tennessee, declaring certain Mount Pleasant inventory as surplus property and authorizing the sale of this surplus property.
Mayor and Commissioners, we have 3 items on here. Most of you are familiar with that 2009 Ford Focus that's usually parked outside, but very, very reliable vehicle. Then Steve has a 2003 Ford F-150, and then there's the 1989 International Street Sweeper that hasn't worked in forever. So we're trying to surplus all of those, and once you've done that and we get all the paperwork done, we'll put it on Gov Deals, and it's available as a public auction for anybody to bid on. And it's always as is, so we never guarantee that, especially a street sweeper is running.
Well, those as is, where is, you come and get it. It's your baby now. Oh, me. Any questions, comments? Entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept resolution 2022-11.
Have a motion. Do we got a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. F, Resolution 2022-12, a resolution to support restoring the historic revenue sharing relationship between the state of Tennessee and its local governments and to return the local share of the single article cap to local governments.
And Mayor and Commissioners, this has just been put on the agenda since you've seen the agenda on Thursday. We've gotten several emails, and Philip attended a TML, a Tennessee Municipal League meeting yesterday, and they're asking for every city possible to pass this. And it goes back to 2002. The state changed the historical relationship in order to address their budget problem back then. And the state benefited, the changes solely benefited the state at the expense of municipal taxpayers. So for 20 years now, since 2002, they changed the way the tax is paid to local municipalities. And so what we're asking is to go back to the way it was in 2002 and give us the same percentage they were giving us at that time, which would greatly benefit us. I think just the initial numbers based on our population would be an additional $75,000 if they agreed to this and this passed. That's above other state shared revenues and above other type of revenues, but just making that change. So they're trying to get as many cities, and I think there were 30 or so that had already passed this, and they're hoping to get a whole bunch more. So as soon as if this gets passed, the mayor signs it, we'll send it to TML, and they're trying to send as many. The state is in very good fiscal shape right now. So
$2 billion surplus.
very different than 20 years ago. So basically we're saying, give us back that shared revenue that we used to get 20 years ago, since everything is doing okay. And the local people probably at this point need it more than the state.
Yeah.
So that's what's in front of you.
Hey, I'd like to also mention too that another thing the state has done historically, and this would help offset some of that, is the state from, I think, back in the 1930s had a income tax, although it only covered dividends and interest. This is the first year that tax has gone away, and that tax come back to us as in state shared revenue. We got a large portion of that. So when they did away with that, they did away with,
Is that Hall?
yeah, the hauling.
Hauling tax, yeah.
Yeah. So then when they did away with that, they did away with part of the revenue that comes into the counties and cities. And then I think there were a couple other taxes that historically they've done the same thing with. When they were in their budget crisis, they pretty much took it out from the local pocket and put it into theirs. And so this will help offset that and those losses.
If it ever gets passed.
Right.
Right.
We're
If
just
passed, it would.
trying to be part of the numbers in
That's
support
right.
of it.
Yeah. Like you said, I know that there's already a number of communities that have already passed this. So thank y'all for doing this. I
How many
mean,
cities
you got to
have to
try
pass?
somewhere.
It's like political pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know what that magic number is, but if enough have passed a resolution, maybe
Yeah.
they'll feel like,
Yeah.
well, if they all support this, we need to support it as state legislators.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a magic number, but
I don't either. But,
it
we
certainly
got
doesn't
we got
hurt
to
us.
start somewhere.
It doesn't hurt us at all.
This is easy for us to do, to try to get it.
Right.
Oh, I'm not against it. I'm
No, I
not
don't-
saying
I'm
the
not-
state
You
is,
wish there was a magic number,
Yeah.
right?
you know, the state's always saying, like, when we complain about them not trimming the bypass and stuff, they don't have the budget to send people out. So, I mean, you know, that's only so messy.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions or comments? Entertain a motion.
Move that we accept resolution 2022-12.
A second.
And a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. G, Developers Gas Agreement, which I think we've all been provided with the layout of what Sugar Creek looks
Should all
like.
have that in front of you. I think we talked about that last month's meeting and then again at the study session this month. Just trying to be good partners with the developer and also benefit the city by having a development that has gas customers that have 2 appliances in the homes. And I know Corey's worked hard on this. If you want to speak towards it, Corey and Keith have worked on it together.
This development agreement just memorializes the obligations with the developer and the city, but basically, they are digging the ditch for the gas line, and then the city is going to put the gas line in. And the real gain for the city here is, A, it's expensive to dig the ditch, but also B, is that we will have gas customers at each house.
At least 2
within that.
appliances per house.
Yeah, we'll have 2 appliances at each house, and there are 40
7,
Five.
Okay, 45 new single-family houses there, and they'll all be
it's all on odd numbers.
Yeah.
That would be a savings to the city right there, because when somebody goes to dig and they don't never know when they're gonna hit rock, it costs more money.
They're going to hit rock.
They're gonna hit rock out
It
there,
won't
we
be
know
on
that.
us.
It coming.
So that's a good thing.
Do we need to,
Yeah, we do need to approve it, please.
okay. Any more discussion?
Make a motion to approve the city manager.
To the developers
Developer
agreement?
agreement, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the developers agreement for gas. We have a second.
Second, yeah.
Second.
We got a bunch of seconds. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Bid award for the sale of 213 Olive.
And Mayor and Commissioners, we did take bids on March 10th, and the high bid is Holloway Services for $5,000.
We need a motion to accept these
Yeah.
two. Okay.
Is that
Entertain
for
a mo-
both? or
We can
one?
do both together.
You want to, yeah, because the other one did 5,000 too, and it's the same buyer.
Right.
I'll
So
make
213 Olive and 218 Olive.
Is it $5,000 total, or is $10,000 total?
$10,000 total.
Yeah.
Each bid was taken separately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had 2 bids on one and
Three bids on-
Three on the
bids
other.
on the other.
So, but 5,000 on each.
Yeah, but it was, yeah. Entertain a motion to accept.
Make a motion to accept the bid award for 213 Olive Street and 218 Olive Street.
With
Second.
Holloway Services.
And Holloway Services.
We've got a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. All right, general,
I oppose.
She said,
are you opposed?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. General comments from citizens, and no one signed up. So that takes care of that. Anybody, the commission got anything they'd like to add right quick? Hearing none, I am going to take just a moment and let everybody here know that I am going to be running for the 71st representative to this state of Tennessee legislative position. And I felt like it was important that I do that because it's spreading like wildfire. Apparently, it's the worst kept secret in the nation, apparently. I'm not going anywhere. Mount Pleasant is my home, and it's going to remain my home, and it's going to remain in my heart because I hadn't won this election. But I felt like it was important to clear the air and let everybody know what's going on. Corey has done an excellent job in making sure that this does not cross any lines with, related to the city. And has reached out to numerous other people to make sure of that. So there is absolutely no lines being crossed, nothing like that. But I felt like it was important to let everybody know so that you do know the facts and you're hearing it from me. So that's all I've got. So entertain a motion to adjourn.
Congratulations.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Got a second? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Very good.